Hi guys, what is up? It's your girl Karen, aka cakedbybabyk, and welcome back to my channel. As requested, we are doing another full face of brand new makeup video. These are all brand new launches, so I am very excited to test out some of these today. There are some items that I have been testing out, mainly the complexion products, but let's go ahead and get started. All right, we're actually not gonna start with foundation and concealer. We are gonna start with this luminizer. I cannot believe that this PR box has a light in it, like that strip of light. That's crazy. These are the new Face Bond luminizers. They come in 2 different finishes. Also, I unboxed all of this in my previous video, so check that out if you haven't already. It's a long one, so if you would like to put it on while you're cleaning or doing something else, it's a good video for that purpose. The top 4 shades are a soft focus glow, and then the bottom 4 are a shimmering glow. These are supposed to be multi-purpose products. You can mix it in with foundation. You can wear it under foundation as a highlight on your eyelids. It says to shake well. I'm gonna try the shades Space Cowboy and Golden Hour. I'm gonna do Space Cowboy on the back of one hand. This one is supposed to be the soft focus glow. Back of this hand doesn't have anything, and then the back of this hand obviously has the luminizer. I feel like the camera is not picking it up that well, so I'm gonna insert some phone footage. All right, let's do Golden Hour on the back of this hand. That is interesting. The Golden Hour shade that I just put on this hand, it feels like it's a lot more even than the soft focus glow. You would think that the soft focus glow would be the more even one. This is what both of them look like side by side. Again, I feel like it's really hard to tell on this camera, so I'm gonna insert some phone footage right here. I should have assumed that the Space Cowboy one, which is the soft focus glow, would be a little bit more dusted and a little bit more twinkly, because that is what their iconic eyeshadow looks like. But for the face, I would maybe wear this on the body, maybe on the eyes underneath the powder Space Cowboy eyeshadow. In my opinion, I don't really think that you would need both to layer, just either or. You guys know I really don't like using multiple shades of one product because I feel like it's kind of wasteful, but I'm curious to see how the other shades are and if it's the same. Yeah, that's definitely the same. I just swatched the shade Silver Lake on like my thumb area. Honestly, I feel like the top one should have been categorized as shimmering glow, and then the bottom ones should have been the soft focus glow. Did someone just pack this like incorrectly in this PR box? Please hold. So someone packed this wrong. According to the Sephora website, these are supposed to be the shimmering glows, and then these are supposed to be the soft focus glows. Okay, now that we've talked about this for literal hours, let's apply it onto the face. I'm gonna do this shade before any complexion. Again, this is Golden Hour. This one is the soft focus glow one. Now that I'm putting like a bigger amount on my face, it kind of smells like alcohol. Okay, the scent does go away. What I do appreciate about this formula is that it's not heavy, it's not greasy, it dries down really quickly. I feel like if you're dry, you might not like this formula. Here's what the skin is looking like up close. It is a little bit streaky in some areas, and I feel like it's a little bit difficult to blend out because it does dry down pretty quickly. If I change the lighting here, you can kind of see it's just like a little bit streaky and patchy in this general area. Also, I don't like how there's only the deeper tones for the soft focus glow and there's only the lighter tones for the shimmering glows. I want to know the thought process behind this. I will be using the Space Cowboy shade later on my eyes, so stay tuned for that. But let's move into complexion. Freaking finally, we're finally done talking about the luminizers. For the face, I'm using the new Milani Skin Tint Stick. Truth be told, I'm not usually a big fan of complexion sticks because they have to be pretty emollient for it to glide easily onto the face, and for my oily combination skin type, that usually doesn't pair well. There are only a few complexion sticks that work well with my skin type, and happy to report that this is one of them. I have been using this for the past week or so. I'm in shade 11, medium tan, if anybody is curious. And I've worn this for a total of about 3 or 4 times now, and each time has been with me doing something strenuous in this stick. The first time I wore it was for a full day for a wear test. The second time I did like a run jog type of situation, and the third time was yesterday when I wore it through a 5-hour dance practice where I was sweating up a storm. Very happy to report that it does hold up. It's one of the better skin tint sticks, complexion sticks that I have tried. This is supposed to be a dupe for the Fenty skin tint stick. tea. And a reason why I didn't want to try a new foundation in this video was because I wanted to try out the luminizer underneath. I do think that this made it a little bit more difficult to blend out because this dries down a little bit too well. The luminizers are supposed to be waterproof. I forgot to mention that earlier, so I think that's why it dries down so well. I don't think I would use this combination again. If I were to use the luminizer again, which I think is highly unlikely, I would use it with a liquid foundation instead. All right, moving on, let's talk about concealers. These are the new concealers from Morphe. I feel like Morphe kind of fell off for a few years and now they're trying really hard to make their comeback and I fear it's working on me. I just used the shade Golden 7W. I have tried this before. I think this is my third time using it. I did a wear test on the same day that I did the Milani wear test and it did hold up pretty well on my under eyes. But for context, my under eyes usually aren't that finicky. I don't suffer from an overly dry under eye. I have some creases, but not too many. This is what it looks like freshly blended out. This is also what the foundation stick looks like. I realized I forgot to zoom you guys in for that part. So I have realized though, the thing with this concealer is that I personally really have to set it down with a powder underneath my eyes. Otherwise, I will get creasing more throughout the day. The first time that I tried it and during my wear test, I did bake slightly underneath my eyes. The second time I used it, I just did a light dusting of powder underneath and that is when I found it to crease more. So keep that in mind if you're contemplating purchasing this. These are $12, which I think it's a really fair price point. The coverage I would say is more medium, but you can build it up. All right, let's try something new again. This is the bronzer stick from Makeup Revolution Beauty, whatever. Texture is definitely interesting. It has that cream to soft matte powdery finish. This stick is $9. Love that. Don't love how it only comes in 6 shades. All right, picking up the product from the back of my hand and applying it to the face, that's nice, I will say. I'm using the shade Medium Sunset, although on the component it only says Sunset. Okay, here is where it looks like it's starting to get a little bit patchy. I'm going to apply the other side just straight onto the face and see how that blends out. Okay, if you were to apply straight to the face, you do not need a lot of pressure. That was like me barely pressing into my skin. I wouldn't categorize this shade as a bronzer on me. If anything, it looks more like a contour, but I think it's just because it has a more like neutral undertone. It's interesting, it looks more patchy on the forehead, but like on the cheeks, it doesn't look too bad. Wow, the skin is really skinning right now. That looks nice. Okay, this side where I applied directly onto the face, it looks more smooth than this side. Like right here, you can kind of tell it's like skipping a little bit. Let me see if I can just add a little bit more. Yeah, see that area right there is just not picking up a lot of product. And on the forehead, it does look kind of patchy. This side looks good. I just, a conundrum. If I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that I would reach for this again, but I will continue to try it to have my well-rounded thoughts for when I rate this at the end of the month, which is soon. Now let's move on to my favorite part of any full face, blushes, or in this case, flushes, because that is what they're called. These are the new Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dewy Flushes. They came out with 2 shades, Watermelon Flush, and then the darker one is Berry Flush. My opinion going into this is that this is not going to be super pigmented. And you guys know I am a pigmented blush type of girly. Okay, I do like the applicator. It is fat and juicy. Gonna apply some to the back of my hand first. Okay, it's looking more opaque than I thought it would look. I'm gonna give it that. Consistency definitely feels like a gel. It feels similar to the original Watermelon Dewdrops. All right, gonna get a clean brush for this. Okay, there's obviously a little something something there, which I expected. I don't hate it. I don't love it either. My expectations have rang true. Let's try this side directly on the face with the applicator. See, it looks so pigmented, right? And then it just kind of blends out into basically nothing. It does have a light watermelon scent to it. I don't know. I knew going into this that I would not like this that much. If you are a no makeup girly, great. I think this is a good product for that type of makeup wearer. Unfortunately, I don't think it's for me, although I do love the glow that it gives, and it does have skincare benefits. However, you're not gonna get the skincare benefits unless you're actually applying it to a bare face, and I almost always have some sort of base makeup complexion product on, so it's just kind of like a won't really apply type of selling point to me. But if you're someone who doesn't wear any complexion products and you just want a little bit of color that is going to be easy to blend and apply, you can easily apply this with your fingers because it is so sheer. I do think that this would be the product for that demographic, but again, just not for me, as I suspected. All right, moving on to powder. This one is from Kosas. You guys know I absolutely love the Cloud Set pressed powder from them, so I have very high expectations for the loose powder. This is the first loose powder that they've ever come out with. I love how it comes with the cover. I really love when loose powder packaging has this. Just keeps it a little bit more clean. All right, let's zoom you guys in so you can also see how the concealer looks. Right now, I have not powdered anything on my under eyes and it still is looking really good. Very minimal creasing. And like I said, I like to do a light bake on my under eyes because if I don't, then I will get creasing. Before and after. So this powder comes in 4 shades. One of them is a pink powder, which I did get in the mail. However, pink powders just don't look good on me, so I am not going to be trying it. I'm happy that this powder is not like overly yellow because in the packaging it does look pretty yellow, but it doesn't translate onto the face, which I like. Now, you guys have heard me say this a bunch of times before, but I really cannot give my thoughts on a powder unless I have tested it for like weeks, minimum of like 1 week. I always like to do a light bake underneath all the bronzer and blush. All right, dusting all of that off. I will say my under eyes do feel a little bit tight, a little bit dry, and I did prep with an eye cream before I started my makeup today. So the jury is still out on this powder. I'm gonna continue testing it out, gonna continue trying it. And just as I suspected, once I applied this, the color of this blush is basically all gone. This is what the face is looking like up close so far. And as always, I'm going to set everything down and melt everything down a little bit better with some setting spray. This is not new. You guys have seen this like 1,000,001 times. This is just my tried and true. Okay, we're going back to the Urban Decay Luminizer in Space Cowboy. I'm gonna put it on my eyes. Now, after comparing it to the OG Space Cowboy eyeshadow, which I have right here, they are pretty different. This is what the liquid version looks like on the eye, and this is what the powder version looks like on the skin. It's a lot more twinkly. I'm just gonna put the powder on top. It really packs more of a punch that way. Just the liquid luminizer on this eye, and then this one has the luminizer plus the powder eyeshadow on top. I honestly don't even want to put this on as a highlight, unfortunately, so we're just gonna skip that. And I would not use this shade as a highlight on my face either. It's just a little bit too warm golden yellow. And I'm honestly not even seeing too much of that glow peek through the skin tint stick either. Honestly, these are a pass for me. However, I was expecting them to be very similar to the Kosas Glow IVs, and those are absolutely atrocious, and these are better. So at least they weren't as bad as the Kosas ones. Okay, and I have a finishing powder here. This one is also from Morphe. This is supposed to be a soft glow light veil. It's not supposed to be a setting powder, but a finishing powder. It's supposed to be like the final step of your makeup to kind of pull everything together, make you look a little bit glowy and radiant. I'm gonna do this side. Maybe this can be the highlight instead, honestly. I'm getting like a really nice subtle glow right here. As you can see, it's not on this side. I do think that I applied a little bit too much in this area, so I'm going to use a smaller brush for this side of my face. But I'm looking at it in the natural light and not in my camera, and I do think you can go overboard with this pretty quickly. I can tell right here it looks a little bit ashy almost. However, I do think a reason being for that is because I don't have a good amount of blush on like I usually do. You know what, just for shits and gigs, let's try to apply some of this over the powder. Okay, it's not bad. Never mind, it's kind of taking some of the makeup underneath off. Can definitely see in this area here. Unfortunately, I don't have any more eye products to test out, so I don't have a mascara or an eyeliner, so we're just gonna dive straight into lips. These are the new tint fixes from Pixi Beauty. There's really only one shade that calls to me, and it's this one. Look at that. Are they not similar? All right, the Pixi one is just a little bit more warm, and then the Rare one is just more rosy. The Pixi ones feel more moussey gel hybrid, whereas the Rare Beauty ones, they just feel like a gel to me. Oh yeah, and this Pixi one is drying down. Okay, so they're not dupes because they feel very, very different. I just saw the applicator and I was like, is this supposed to be a dupe for the Rare Beauty ones? Rare Beauty definitely leaves behind more of a stain. And the finishes are definitely different. The Pixi one has more of a soft matte finish. As you can tell, I really like this shade on me though. And the Rare Beauty ones have more of a shine to them. They don't necessarily dry down. Okay, false alarm, not a dupe. I feel like I've been filming this for hours and I definitely have been filming this for hours, but this is what the full face is looking like. Let me know if you're interested in trying any of these new products. I know this video was probably a really long one, so if you've stayed till the end, I appreciate and love you so, so much. With that being said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.